Hello, beautiful beings. How are we today? I had a few, I don't know, like ideas crop up for me that I wanted to share today. But I feel like what I'm actually going to go for is just a little channeling from three tarot cards that I pulled for myself this morning. There's also a phrase that I was researching Kali, goddess Kali, as I have been doing for a good few years now, but today I felt called to explore a little more. And I found a great quote, which is sometimes the change we need is not the one we seek. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes the change we need is not the one we seek. And I feel like for so long in our lives, well, from my experience anyway, we have taken action as seemingly doing something in the physical world. And whilst that is innately necessary and beautiful and exciting, the real change of how we are acting comes from within, the purposefulness of our movement, the way we stroke the air, the way we dance through life, the way we play the guitar carefully, or we move in hard moments on a yoga mat, for example, breathing slowly, steady, translating that into hard movements on the outer reality, perhaps an event, a death, a breakup, a breakdown, a breakthrough, a health concern, a health scare, something really deep and meaningful that can actually change the course of our reality forever. I'm going to take my glasses off because I'm getting distracted by this shininess. So you're going to have to look at my unmade up face, which I love. And that was very Carly. I have been really feeling into how far I've journeyed over the past few years in the sense of the way my inner world moves my outer world through the way I'm moving through the world, right? Choices that I'm making. I've always, or in the past, perhaps, I've been the phrase reckless to the point of, no, single-minded to the point of recklessness in the sense of I want to travel, I'm going to travel. I want a boyfriend, I have a boyfriend. I want to be single, I'm single. I want to play the guitar, I play the guitar. That's almost my mentality of like, well, if I want it, I do it, right? You just do it. It might take longer. I might think that there's other things to do before I can do that thing, for example. But that ultimately my mentality is very much make it happen. Meow. And I feel like the biggest game changer in my world has been the way in which I'm doing things. And that actually helps me become consistent with what I'm doing, the daily practices, the sadhana, the things that I want to keep wherever I'm traveling in the world. Full disclosure, over the past month, I've been debating whether or not to move to China for a little while. There's a potential job out there for me that I can continue my business alongside. I can explore another country. It's going to be like a lot of work and, probably a lot of emotional ups and downs. A lot of loneliness comes from moving to a country that you don't speak the language in. And even if you do speak the language, sometimes it's incredibly lonely to be a completely little alien being in someone else's land and not familiar with the customs or the speaking or the way of life. It's not my first rodeo on that front. And actually, there's a part of me that knows unless I'm ready to make this decision in a very balanced, wholesome way, I couldn't possibly make that move. unless the energy is right within inside me this time, instead of feeling like the pressure of I have to do this because I want to live all of my life, or I have to do this because I want a stable job, or I have to do this because I want to learn Chinese, I want to learn Mandarin, whatever it is that, you know, that reasoning that the logical mind holds on to, it can be quite empowering to take a step back from that need, that desire, and just look at the state of the inner reality. Like, where am I at? Is this really a core decision that I should be making in this state? Is this state going to change? Is this an inspired state based off of someone else's desire, not mine? And as a reflector in human design, these are things we have to question, because regardless of who we are part of a community environment, and we pick up people's energy and we pick up their thoughts. And that's not to say that that's their thoughts that they're holding on to, but that's something they're using to narrate their story. Right. So we have to become more aware and conscious of what words, what stories we are using to create our narrative, to create our life. Right. The way in which we speak about ourselves and others becomes our story of life. It becomes our experience of life. It becomes our perception, because we've practiced the same things over and 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 over. And actually, one thing that I am feeling a lot of resistance to in my life is, for example, in the business world, a lot of life revolves around telling the same things again and again, saying the same things again and again. I have no problem with a catchphrase, all unfolds in the perfect way, divine, aligned, and always on time, abundant, free, and paid to be me. These are all affirmations I use every single day of my life because I love them. I created it, or it came to me. I'm not going to say I claim that. I'm sure someone else out there has probably indulged in those words. It is the only hashtag on Instagram, though, just saying. And whilst I'm aware that if we want people to understand us, perhaps we have to repeat ourselves, we have to repeat the story. For me, that feels a little bit like a waste of my time. Like, I don't really want to live my life seeking to be understood. And perhaps that is not what works in the business world or in the social media game or in this or that or whatever. I just want to feel into what's real for me in the moment and share that with the world. Because I know that when I collaborate with others, when I take clients through a journey, when I even just take humans through a journey of being in my awareness, that's a ride, then things naturally unfold. You know, people come in, they leave when their time is up with you, or they stay as they're evolving too. And we can kind of recycle the same patternings in a way in which is beneficial for the both of us to reflect on how far we've come, to understand more of what is happening now, and how we can adapt for the future. And I'm not saying that I won't repeat myself, or I won't play this game, or I won't put myself into this mindset of actually just affirming what is right so it becomes true. I think this is more for me to witness myself having a resistance to creating a story that is like repetitive for me. Like, my whole life I have, you know, that Avril Lavigne song, Anything But Ordinary? I'd rather be anything but ordinary, please. That's kind of been my energy. Like, that's kind of been my feeling. It's been like, I want to be someone who experiences lots of different things, lots of different cultures, lots of different flavors of life, right? Flavors of people, flavors of animals, flavors of myself. And yeah, I think the time comes in a woman's life to realize that she's not like everybody else, and that's okay. And I get to be in this delicious place where I am so confident in my own uniqueness and my own frequency that I can say, oh, I love that bit of you, but I'm not necessarily going to adopt what you're saying on this front, this front, this front, right? Unique discernment is something I think everybody needs. Like, I would actively discourage anyone from saying that Hannah Pape, that unfolding reflections, she speaks all of my truth. I just take it on board. I'm like, no, I don't want that. I don't want you to take what I'm saying as truth. I want you to feel what I'm saying and absorb it and understand it in your own unique flavor, because the universe doesn't expand through you thinking like me and me thinking like you and you doing like me and me doing like you. We're here to synergize. We're here to expand. And if I'm really honest with myself, the work that I'm sharing with clients, the work that I'm sharing with people is such a freaking gift. Like from the bottom of my heart, it is so unique. It is so powerful. It's so transformational. I don't need to reach the masses to transform lives. I will do, I'm sure, in some capacity, whether that's energetically or physically or online or whatever. I know that's inevitable for me. I've seen it in my life path. I've felt it in my path. I've been shown it as my path. But again, going back, sometimes the change we need is not the one we seek. So I'm really feeling into myself, is the change that I'm seeking China? Is the change that I'm seeking an external validation for my business, a visual representation of followers or of clients or of money in the bank to truly affirm to me that I am worthy and enough and innately good at what I'm doing? So these are not answers that need questions. We don't need to speculate on my being, because no one could possibly know enough about me to have a judgment or opinion that would actually be valid and relevant in this scenario. Just as much as the reverse is true, we can all have them, of course, but perhaps sharing it here is not the one. I'm very curious, though, very, very curious to hear about your perspective on your own life, to hear about how perhaps we are all seeking external validation, in a sense, just needing to affirm it internally and find the energy shift internally that allows us to align with that innate confidence of being, that innate discernment of who we are. None of us need to have a definitive answer, a set in stone rule that we live for life. This is just an expansive inner realm exploration that is going to consistently change. And if you're uncomfortable with the idea of change, it's time to sit with that, feel that, love that, but allow that to pass too, because change is the only constant, my loves. And isn't it delicious? All unfolds in the perfect way. Thank you so much for journeying with me here. Again, if you are interested in learning about working with me, comment below or click on the link to my Facebook or my Instagram to get in contact. I will send you a booking link. And yeah, let's activate some awareness. Let's make it easy for ourselves to open up naturally and accept the love that the universe and ourself as the universe, is offering. Deep love. And again, all unfolds in the perfect way. Sweet dreams, motherfucker.